A champion who believed he could dominate the world discovers that the world fits within the silence of a master. When the blow misses its target, it strikes back at his own vanity. The cell phone screen shines brightly against Miguel Han's face. He smiles, not a calm smile. It's the kind of smile that needs to be seen. The camera shakes slightly in his hand, while the music in the background explodes in distorted bass. Steven Seagal, I know you're watching this. The gym behind him is empty, but he speaks as if there were crowds. His kimono is impeccable, the black belt perfectly fitted. He takes 2 steps back and executes a spinning kick in the air, a clean, quick, controlled movement. The sound of the fabric cutting through the wind echoes. 3 years as national Taekwondo champion, 27 technical knockouts, 0 losses. He points at the camera. You made movies, I make history. Let's see who really knows how to fight. The editing changes. Quick cuts. Miguel training. Miguel breaking boards. Miguel raising trophies. The music speeds up. Hashtags appear on the screen. Seagal challenge. Reality versus cinema. New generation. Comments are starting to appear in real time. That kid is crazy. Finally, someone is going to expose him. Miguel is going to destroy him. He posts it. The number of views grows. 1,000, 10,000, 50,000 in 15 minutes. Miguel sits on the locker room bench, still holding his cell phone. The screen reflects on his face. He refreshes the page. Again and again. No Seagal. He pushes his phone aside and takes a deep breath. But it's not a calm breath. It's the kind of breath that tries to convince his own body that he's right. The gym is silent now. The music has stopped. All that remains is the sound of the fan slowly spinning on the ceiling, and the distant echo of a door closing outside. Miguel looks at his own hands. They don't tremble, but they should, because somewhere, far away, a 62-year-old man just watched the video, and he didn't say a word. The camera cuts. 2 seconds of black screen. Absolute silence. Only then does the sound of the cell phone vibrating on the wooden bench break the void. A notification. But it's not by Seagal. 48 hours. No response. Miguel updates his social media for the 10th time this morning. The video already has 300,000 views. The comments are multiplying. Some call him brave, others arrogant. Some mention Seagal, but none with confirmation. He throws his cell phone on the table and goes back to training, but the mind is elsewhere. Meanwhile, on the other side of the country, in a discreet Los Angeles studio, Steven Seagal watches the video for the 3rd time. No music, no rush. He sits in a dark wooden chair, his hands resting on his knees. His face doesn't change, not a muscle moves. Only his eyes follow Miguel's every move on the screen, the spinning kick, the confident smile, the pointing finger. When the video ends, he closes the laptop. Silence. 3 full seconds. Then he gets up. He walks to the window. The afternoon light slowly enters, dividing the room in 2. Shadow and light. A businessman enters the room, holding a tablet. Steven, the kid is making a fuss. The press wants to know if you're going to respond. Seagal doesn't look at him. He continues watching the street below. I'm not going to answer. The businessman hesitates. So, ignore it? Seagal finally turns his face away. His gaze is long, but it's not anger. It's something older, something that has seen this scene before, in other faces, in other decades. I'll demonstrate. He picks up the phone and dials a number. The conversation is short, almost monosyllabic. When he hangs up, the businessman is already typing. 3 hours later, the statement appears on social media. No video, no challenge, just an image, the logo of a gym in Los Angeles, and a date. Open technical demonstration, Saturday, 10 a.m. Free admission. No mention of Miguel, no provocation, just the invitation. The comments are exploding again. Did he accept? Is this an answer or an escape? Will Miguel show up? But those who understand, no, it's not an invitation. It's a lesson. Back in Brazil, Miguel sees the post. He reads it 3 times. His heart races, but he hides it. He posts a quick reply. See you there. 2 emojis, clenched fist. fire. But when she turns off her cell phone, the smile disappears. He sits on the edge of the bed. The room is dark. Only the bluish light from the screen illuminates his face. And for the first time since posting the challenge, Miguel realizes something. Seagal didn't need to shout back, and that says more than any video. The sound of the ceiling fan once again dominates the room. Miguel stands there, motionless, staring at his own hands. They are not trembling yet, but the breathing, that changed. The gym is hot. Miguel ties the bandages around his feet, preparing to practice spinning kicks. The sound of the ceiling fan spins slowly, mixed with the dull thud of the sandbag swinging on the chain. He leaps. He spins. His heel cuts through the air and strikes the bag with precision. The impact echoes in the empty room. Another one, stronger. Sweat is already running down his forehead. Lucio, his coach, is leaning against the wall, his arms crossed. He has been watching in silence for 5 minutes. Finally, he speaks. "Have you studied his game?" Miguel stops. He takes a deep breath. He turns his face away, still with his hand on the sandbag. "Study what?" "He makes movies." "Lucio." "I do real fighting." Lucio doesn't answer. He just stares. Miguel drops the bag and picks up the water bottle. He drinks quickly, almost angrily. What it was? Lucio walks to the corner of the room. He opens an old metal cabinet and takes out a dusty VHS tape. He blows off the dust. He puts it in the TV that no one has used for years. A static image appears on the screen. The 80s, maybe the 90s. A tatami mat, a steady camera, a younger Seagal, in a black kimono, demonstrating Aikido techniques. Miguel lets out a short laugh. "Seriously? You want me to watch this?" Lucio doesn't answer. He just turns up the volume. On screen, Seagal grabs an opponent's wrist. The movement is almost imperceptible, a slight shift in axis, a subtle twist. The large man falls to the ground as if the ground had moved beneath him. Miguel crosses his arms. Choreography. Lucio pauses the video at the exact moment of the fall. He points to the screen. Look at his hips. They haven't moved. Look at his feet. They haven't even moved. Miguel is approaching. Franz to head. Arrogance, so what? So he didn't need strength. Just time. Miguel shakes his head and returns to the sandbag. He kicks again, 3 times. Quick, strong, skillful, but something changed. On the final shot, he hesitates. Just for a second, but he hesitates. Lucio remains standing beside the TV. The frozen image of Seagal is still on the screen. His calm face, his fixed eyes, his motionless body as his opponent falls. Miguel stops kicking. He stands still, hands on his knees, breathing heavily. The fan sounds louder now. He looks at the screen again, this time, more slowly. The man in the image doesn't appear to be fighting. He appears to be waiting, as if he knew exactly where the mistake was going to happen, even before his opponent decided to attack. Miguel swallows hard. It says nothing, but the expression on his face changes. Lucio turns off the TV. The reflection of the black screen returns the image of Miguel. Sweaty, tense, his hands still trembling slightly from kicking so much. On Saturday, you'll find out if speed beats patience. Miguel doesn't answer. Just grab the towel and leave the room. The door creaks when it closes. The fan keeps spinning, and on the black TV screen, only the reflection of the empty room remains, like a mirror without an answer. Los Angeles Airport is a beehive. Miguel walks down the hallway with his backpack on his back, headphones at maximum volume. The playlist is aggressive, heavy beats, lyrics about victory, about proving one's worth. He nods his head to the rhythm, his eyes fixed on the floor. Lucio walks alongside, in silence. They stop at the counter to pick up their demo credentials. The woman hands over 2 passes with red lanyards. Miguel puts his around his neck and takes a deep breath. "Let's put an end to this." Lucia simply nods. They walk down the corridor that leads to the gym. The walls are white, illuminated by cold LED light. The sound of footsteps echoes. In the distance, muffled voices of other people arriving. Miguel adjusts the backpack, and then, coming from the opposite direction, walking slowly, There he is, Steven Seagal, a discreet black kimono, hair tied back, hands relaxed at his sides. Two men accompany him, but walk a step behind. Miguel freezes. It automatically removes the headphones, as if the body knows before the mind. The music is still playing softly, escaping from the headphones hanging around my neck. Seagal approaches. He doesn't swerve. He doesn't accelerate. He just keeps going at the same pace. 5 meters. 3. 2. Miguel straightens his posture. He wants to say something. Anything. But his throat is dry. Seagal walks past him. And at the exact moment their bodies align, he turns his face away. Just one look. It's not a challenge. It's not a threat. It's recognition, as if to say, I know who you are, and you still don't know who I am. Seagal gives a brief nod of his head, almost imperceptible, and continues walking. Miguel stands still. The hallway seems longer now, quieter. Lucio touches his shoulder. Let's go. Miguel blinks. He shakes his head as if waking up. He turns to see Seagal disappearing at the end of the hallway. His footsteps make no sound, only the soft rustle of the kimono fabric. Miguel looks at his own hands. They are closed, not anger, tension. He slowly opens his fingers, as if he needs to remind himself that he still has control over them. Lucio walks ahead. Miguel is still going, but the pace has changed. It's no longer the confident stride of someone about to prove something. It's the move made by someone who has just realized that maybe they don't know what they came here to do. The music is still playing in the headphones hanging around my neck, but now it seems out of place, like a noise trying to fill a silence that has already said everything. The camera follows Miguel from behind. He enters the locker room door. The door closes slowly, and in the empty hallway, all that remains is the muffled sound of Seagal's footsteps, still echoing in the distance. 2 steps, and the sound of the fabric. Nothing more. The mat is clean, white, impeccable, silent. About 50 people occupy the stands. Journalists, practitioners, curious onlookers. No one shouts. They just observe. Miguel enters first, white kimono, black sash tightly tied. He greets the audience with a short bow. He stretches his neck from side to side. He shakes his arms. His body is ready. Seagal enters right after. No rush, no visible heating. He simply walks to the center of the mat, bows slightly, and stands still, his hands loose at his sides. No words are exchanged. The referee, a veteran Aikido master, positions himself between them. Technical demonstration, no scoring, respect above all. He retreats. Miguel and Seagal face off. 3 seconds of absolute silence. Miguel takes a deep breath. He adjusts his stance. He raises his hands into guard. Seagal doesn't move. Miguel takes the first step. Fast. May Gary, a direct front kick to the abdomen. Seagal rotates his hips slightly. The kick grazes the kimono, without touching the skin. Miguel pulls his leg back, adjusts it, and goes to the combination. Feint with the left hand. Body twist. High roundhouse kick, aiming for the side of the head. The movement is clean. Technical. Fast. But Seagal is no longer there. He took half a step to the side, just half. Miguel's heel cut through the empty air, so close to Seagal's face that the wind from the movement dislodged a strand of his hair. But it doesn't play. Miguel lands. His breathing quickens. He looks at Seagal. The master's face hasn't changed. There's no smile. There's no provocation. Just calm down, as if he knew where the shot would go before Miguel even decided to throw it. Miguel tries again. Low-high combination. Thigh kick followed by a spinning punch. Seagal dodges the kick with a minimal hip movement. The punch passes inches from his shoulder. He didn't even need to raise his hands. The camera captures Miguel's fist cutting through the air. Seagal's face motionless, his eyes fixed, not on the fist, but on the center of Miguel's chest, as if reading the intention before the movement. Miguel takes 2 steps back. Breathe deeply now. Look at your own hands. They are correct. The technique is correct. Everything is working, but nothing is going right. He raises his gaze. Seagal remains still. Same position, same expression, But something changed. Not him. In Miguel. Because for the first time since stepping onto the mat, he realizes something he shouldn't have noticed so soon. The distance between them is not physical. It's temporary. He's attacking where Seagal was, not where he is. The audience remains silent. Nobody applauds. Nobody comments. They just observe. And on Miguel's face, the confident smile he brought from home vanished. He swallows hard, adjusts the base again. But this time, my legs are trembling, just a little. But they tremble. And Seagal sees it. The camera zooms in on the master's face. He blinks once, slowly, and then, for the first time, he takes a step forward. Miguel is not waiting. He moves forward first, this time with everything he's got. Quick combination, jab, straight, low hook. Fists cut through the air with precision. Clean technique, maximum speed. Seagal takes half a step back. Miguel continues. He tries to grab the lapel of the kimono, pull it to the side, create an imbalance. But the instant her fingers touch the fabric, something happens. Seagal frowned. It's not a sudden turn. It's smooth, almost gentle. He controls Miguel's wrist with one hand. The other slides down to his elbow. The movement is so precise it looks choreographed, but it isn't. Miguel feels his own axis crumbling. There is no pain. There is no violence. Just empty. His feet lose contact with the ground. His body weight redistributes before he realizes it. And then, the mat rises too quickly for his eyes to follow. The impact is dry. Clean. Miguel falls backward. His arms automatically open, trying to cushion the impact. His breath escapes in a sharp thud. The audience falls even quieter, if that's even possible. Miguel lies down. He looks at the ceiling. The gym lights seem brighter now. He blinks 3 times. Try to process what happened. Where did he go wrong? When did he go wrong? But the truth is, he doesn't know. Seagal is standing next to him. He doesn't celebrate. He doesn't look at the audience. He doesn't say anything. He simply extends his hand, open palm, firm, calm. Miguel looks at his hand, then at Seagal's face. There is no disdain there. There is no pity, just being there. Miguel takes a deep breath. He swallows his pride, literally, as if something were going down his throat and lodging itself in his chest. He extends his hand. Seagal lifts it. Take it easy. No rush, no excessive force. Miguel stands up. He adjusts his kimono. He looks down. The tatami mat is marked with the sweat of his own body. And then, listen. Oh, I am. It's not the sound of impact. It's not the sound of breathing. It's the sound of Seagal's palm as he holds his hand. The friction of the fabric. The firm, but not aggressive, contact. It's the sound of someone catching someone who has fallen, without judging them for falling. Miguel looks up. Seagal gives a slight nod, almost imperceptible, as if to say, it's okay. Start again. The audience remains silent. But now, it's a different kind of silence. It's not tension. It's not expectation. It's about respect. Miguel takes 2 steps back. He adjusts his stance again, but something has changed in him. The jaw is more relaxed. The shoulders are less stiff. He's not trying to prove it anymore. He's trying to understand. Lucio, sitting in the stands, crosses his arms. He doesn't smile. He just observes. But in his eyes, there's a glint. He's seen this before. In other fighters, in other eras. The moment when pride stops fighting and starts listening. Seagal returns to his starting position. Hands limp, body motionless. But this time, Miguel doesn't move forward immediately. He is waiting, just 3 seconds. But wait, and in those 3 seconds, the entire mat takes on a whole new meaning. It's no longer a testing ground. It's a place of learning. The camera zooms in on Miguel's face. Their eyes are still fixed. But now, there's something new. Doubt. It is not doubt that paralyzes. The question that arises. Miguel breathes. Once, twice. This time, he's not rushing forward. He observes. Seagal remains still. Hands loose. Weight balanced. No high guard. No visible tension. But Miguel now realizes something he didn't see before. The way Seagal distributes his weight, the slight tilt of his torso, the position of his feet, a little wider than normal, rooted. It's not passivity, it's structure. Miguel takes a sidestep. He tests the angle. Seagal turns his torso slightly, keeping up with the movement, but his feet don't move. Miguel frowns at Testa. He attempts a feint, a right-hand movement suggesting a punch. Seagal doesn't react. Miguel advances, a real jab this time, straight to the face. Seagal dodges with a minimal head rotation. The fist passes millimeters from his nose. And then, something happens. Seagal raises his left hand, not to block, not to attack. He points, discreetly, for Miguel's hip. The index finger moves slowly, almost like someone adjusting a detail on a sculpture. Miguel, stop. Look down. Her stance is too wide. Her hip is misaligned. Her supporting leg is slightly crooked. He understands. Adjust. Reposition your foot. Rotate your hip. You feel the difference immediately. Your body becomes more stable. Your weight is better distributed. He looks back at Seagal. The master didn't say a word, but he taught. Miguel takes a deep breath. Now, with the base corrected, he tries again. Front kick, more controlled this time, less explosiveness, more precision. Seagal dodges, but the movement is different. He needs to take a full step now, not just half a step. Miguel pulls his leg back. He feels his body more balanced as he returns. And then, you see, a smile. It's not wide, it's not obvious, but it's there, in the corner of Seagal's mouth, almost imperceptible, like someone who recognizes something they expected to see, but wasn't sure when it would appear. It's a teacher's smile, not from an opponent. The audience remains silent, but some lean forward in their seats. They feel the change, too. Miguel lowers his guard for a moment, not out of tiredness, out of recognition. He just understood something. This was never a struggle. It was a lesson, and he was being tested, not to lose, to learn. Lucio, in the stands, slowly exhales. He crosses his arms again, but now there's a slight smile on his face. He saw the exact moment. The click. Seagal takes a step back. He makes a short bow. Miguel hesitates for a second, and then reciprocate. Slower. Deeper. The referee approaches, but doesn't end the game. He just observes. Seagal walks up to Miguel. He stops right in front of him. 3 seconds of direct eye contact. And then, for the first time, he speaks. Quietly, just for Miguel to hear. You're fast, but speed without a foundation is just wind. Understand? Miguel swallows hard. He nods. There is no shame in the gesture. There is gratitude. Seagal touches his shoulder. A light touch. Firm. And then he walks away. The camera zooms in on Miguel's face. The eyes are different now. There's no more uncontrolled fire. There is focus. There is inner silence. And for the first time since stepping onto that mat, Miguel smiles. Not out of arrogance, of understanding. The demonstration continues. But what matters has already happened. The sound of the tatami mat returned. Light footsteps. Controlled breathing. And amidst all of this, the echo of a lesson that didn't need to shout to be heard. The gymnasium is emptying out. People leave in small groups, talking quietly. Some look back, still processing what they've seen. Miguel is sitting on the locker room bench, a towel hanging around his neck. His kimono is open at the chest. He looks at his own hands. They no longer tremble, but they carry a different weight. Lucio enters with 2 bottles of water. He holds one out. Miguel accepts. He drinks slowly. You understood? Miguel doesn't answer immediately. He just stares at the ground. Sweat drips from his face, forming small dark stains on the cement. I thought I knew enough. Lucio sits next to him. And now? Miguel exhales. Long, controlled. Now I know I knew nothing. The door opens. 3 reporters appear. Cameras, microphones, lights. Miguel, can we ask you some questions? He hesitates. He looks at Lucio. The coach simply nods. Go. Miguel stands up. He adjusts his kimono. He walks to the hallway where the cameras are already positioned. A reporter steps forward. "Miguel, you posted a public challenge. Today, you fell flat on your face. What do you have to say?" Silence. Michael looks directly at the camera. He doesn't look away. He doesn't smile. He doesn't try to hide it. "I didn't know what I didn't know." The reporter frowns, expecting more. Miguel continues. "I thought I was going to prove my strength. I learned about moderation." Another reporter raises his hand. "Do you regret the challenge?" Miguel breathes. 3 seconds. He thinks before he speaks. "No, because if I hadn't challenged myself, I would never have learned." "Learned what?" Miguel looks to the side, at the empty tatami mat in the background. The gym lights are now dim. Only a few lamps are on. Respect isn't earned by shouting. It's earned by keeping quiet at the right time. The camera zooms in on his face. There is no defeat there. There is no shame. There is something more difficult to capture. Humility. The real one. The one that hurts. The one that grows. Are you going to keep fighting? Miguel smiles for the first time, but it's a different smile from the one he brought to Los Angeles. "I will. But now I know that fighting isn't just about winning. It's about knowing when to stop and listen." The cameras move away. The reporters thank them, but one of them stays. "And Steven Seagal? Did you talk to him afterwards?" Miguel shakes his head. "I didn't need to. He already said everything." "How?" Michael looks at the camera one last time. "With his hands, with the silence, with the way he lifted me up." The interview ends. The lights go out. The hallway becomes empty. Miguel returns to the locker room. Lucio is putting his things in his backpack. "You spoke well." Miguel sits down. He slowly takes off his kimono. He folds it carefully. More carefully than before. "Lucio, I want to go back. To go back. Train differently. Learn differently." Lucio smiles. He says nothing. He simply places his hand on his shoulder, and in that gesture, there is everything that needs to be said. The camera pulls back. The locker room goes dark, but Miguel's voice still echoes. "I didn't know what I didn't know." And now he knows. The sound of a door closing. Footsteps in the hallway. Silence. But it is not the silence of emptiness. It's the silence of someone who has finally stopped shouting and started listening. 3 weeks later, Brazil. Dawn. The dojo is empty. Streetlight streams in through the tall windows, cutting the space into bands of shadow and light. There is no music. There is no noise. Only the sound of barefoot footsteps on the tatami mat. Miguel enters alone, simple kimono, sash tied calmly. He closes the door behind him and walks to the center of the room, to breathe, once, twice, 3 times, and then it begins. First move, front kick, fast, powerful. The heel cuts through the air with precision. The imagined impact would be devastating. But when the leg returns, the body sways. The hip goes out of alignment. The weight is poorly redistributed. "Miguel, stop. Look at your own feet. Adjust the base. Try again. This time, more slowly. The kick goes high. Less explosiveness, more control. The leg extends, but the hip remains aligned. The return is smooth. The body doesn't sway. He is breathing. Better. Third move, the same kick. Half the force, half the speed. But now, there's something new. Precision. The heel cuts through the air exactly where it should. The return is clean. The body returns to center without hesitation. Miguel stops again. This time, there's no frustration. There is understanding. He walks over to the whiteboard on the wall. He picks up the pen. He writes in large letters, alignment, explosion. He stands still, staring at the words. 3 seconds. Then, return to the center of the mat. The sequence begins again. Shoot, pause, adjust, shoot, pause, adjust. There is no rush. There is no anger. There is no ego. Just repetition. And with each repetition, the movement becomes a little cleaner, a little more grounded, a little more correct. The camera slowly zooms out. Miguel continues training, alone, in the dark, without witnesses, because now he understands. The real fight doesn't happen on the mat, in front of the cameras, with the audience watching. It happens here, at 3 in the morning, when nobody is watching, when all that's left is you, your body, and the stark truth of where you still need to improve. He stops once more. He takes a deep breath. He looks at the ceiling, and then he whispers, low, almost inaudible, "Thanks." There is no one to listen, but he needed to say it. The camera zooms in on his face. Sweat trickles down his forehead. His eyes are tired, but there is peace in them. Not the peace of victory. The peace of those who know that the path is now different, longer, more honest. He picks up the towel. He dries his face. He looks at the whiteboard one more time. Alignment, explosion, smile. Slightly, and then turn off the light. The sound of footsteps in the hallway. The door is closing. The dojo falls silent again. But it's not the empty silence of before. It is silence that carries a lesson. The kind of silence that only those who have fallen and gotten back up can hear. The camera remains on the empty tatami mat, in the darkness, and in the words written on the board, still visible in the streetlight. Alignment, explosion, slow fade. Only the distant sound of a car passing outside, and the invisible breath of a fighter who finally understood what it means to train. 6 weeks later, Los Angeles, morning. Steven Seagal is sitting on the porch of his house. Sunlight filters softly through the trees. There's a cup of tea beside him, still steaming. A white envelope rests on the wooden table. No logo, no express mail label, just his name, handwritten. He picks up the envelope, turns it over, opens it calmly. Inside, a sheet of paper, folded in 3. The handwriting is firm, but humble. It unfolds. Read silently. Senior Seagal, I don't know if you remember me. I'm the fighter who challenged you. The one who fell on the mat. I spent weeks trying to find the right words for this letter. And I realized that maybe there are no right words. So I'll say what I feel. Thanks. Thank you for knocking me down without hurting me. Thank you for lifting me up without humiliating me. Thank you for teaching me without having to speak. I thought I was going to Los Angeles to prove I was strong, but you showed me that I still didn't know what strength means. Today, I train differently. I think differently. I fight differently. And all this because you didn't react to my pride with anger. You reacted with patience. I don't know if I'll ever have the chance to thank you in person, but I needed you to know. You didn't win a fight that day. You saved a fighter. With respect, Miguel Han. Seagal finishes reading. He stands still. The letter is still in his hands. He doesn't smile. He doesn't sigh. He doesn't make any dramatic gestures, just fold the letter again. Be careful, like someone who keeps something valuable. He gets up. He walks inside the house. He takes the kimono hanging on the chair. He opens the inside pocket. And look at the paper wings, very close to the chest. Go back out onto the balcony. Sit down. Pick up your teacup. Drink slowly. The camera pulls back. He stands there, silent, gazing at the trees. The morning light illuminates his face. Calm, serene, wordless. Because some things don't need to be said. Just felt. Cut 4. Brazil. 2 months later. The dojo is full now. 10 students on the mat. Children, teenagers, adults. Miguel is in the lead, demonstrating a movement. He doesn't shout. He doesn't accelerate. He shows it slowly. Pause. Let them observe. One of the students tries to imitate. He gets the basics wrong. Miguel approaches. He doesn't correct with words. It only touches the student's hip. It slightly adjusts the position of the foot. The student tries again. Better. Miguel nods. A discreet smile. The same thing you saw in Seagal. A new phrase is painted on the dojo wall, large, visible, impossible to ignore. The power lies not in the impact, but in the space that contains it. The students finish the sequence. Miguel claps twice. Let's breathe. They all inspire together, and they exhale in unison. The sound fills the room. It's not noise, it's harmony. Miguel closes his eyes for a moment, and at that moment, he remembers, from the white mat, from the outstretched hand, from the discreet smile, from the lesson that didn't need to be spoken. He opens his eyes, look at the students, and see what Seagal saw in him that day. Potential. Not to win, to grow. The class ends. The students bow. They leave in silence, talking quietly. Miguel is left alone. She walks to the window. She looks out at the street. The light of dusk paints everything in gold. He is breathing, once, profound, and whispers, "Thank you, Master." The camera pulls back. The dojo becomes empty. But the echo remains, not on the walls, among the people who passed by there. And they will take this further. Slow fade, only the sound of distant footsteps, and the gentle breeze moving the trees outside. Silence. But the kind of silence that teaches, the kind of silence that lingers.